In Xianxia's impression, the devil-killing summit should be an invincible existence. The white and holy light that the entire enormous mountain emitted made him feel a kind of reverence. And today, it had all become black. Do you know why the devil-killing summit was turned black? Xianxia frowned. He wanted to ask Bai Yaowei and Lv about the situation. They were all from the devil-killing summit. I'm not sure. In short, many of the 9 heaven worlds transmission arrays that lead to Dtion have been shut down to prevent the night devil from invading this place, and only the transmission array built within many great powers are still in use. In these 9 days, all those great powers have large areas of influence. Long Huishan said, "It's just that I don't know when that group of night devil will erupt." Xianxia had already realized that the Hell Devil Emperor knew that the plan of the 5 Sky Region Emperors had failed and did not start a large-scale war. Some of the Night Devils were not controlled by the Demon Emperor, but it seemed like they were going to ally with the 5 great heavenly regions. This made Xianxia a little confused, as he had been wanting to capture all those Night Devils and bring them back. We have yet to confirm if the 5 great heavenly regions and the Night Devil are really allied. Right now, we are only guessing, because they have already teamed up once before. Long Huishan patted Xianxia's shoulder. Previously, there had been a large number of Night Devil outside the Evil Dragon Graveyard. Yes, continue your investigations. Night Devil Hell has always been suppressed by Devil Killing Summit, and now that Devil Killing Summit has only turned black, it does not mean that it has been annihilated. If Night Devil really leaves Night Devil Hell, it would be very hard to control them. Xianxia replied, "When the time comes, they will probably counterattack together." Long Huishan nodded his head. After a while, Devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable will gather all the leaders of the major powers, and they will probably discuss about this matter. The elders are all here. I need to go talk to them. After Long Huishan left, Dong Fongjing sighed. It's about to be a fight again. I don't like it at all. Me too, Shin Lingling said. Don't worry. When the time comes, I won't let you go on stage. You just need to stay here and be responsible for refining. Xianxia laughed. I don't really like fighting or killing, but Yulan and Qianxiang should like it. Lu Menger walked over to Xianxiang's side and softly said, If you have something to say, then go and busy yourself first. I'm not busy. I'll accompany you for a few days before leaving. Qianxiang smiled. Qianxiang accompanied Xianxia and the others at the Ice Dragon Villa for a few days before returning to the Heavenly Dragon Realm. You're back so soon. Why don't you accompany them for a while? Long Shui smiled ambiguously. Looks like you've been living quite happily these past few days, huh? Long Shui wrinkled his nose and laughed. Xianxian and Menger have the heaviest fragrance. This master and disciple pair has been taken care of by you. Qianxiang did not waste time speaking with her and said, Devil Killing Summit has turned black. Night Devil Hell is very unstable at that place. Isn't Hell Devil Emperor unable to control that place? Devil Killing Summit has turned black. Long Shui was in disbelief. Devil Killing Summit should be very powerful. Turning black means that the place has already been contaminated by the strong demon's power. There's a gap in Night Devil Hell's base. It's very difficult to capture those vengeful spirits that escaped from there, and the Hell Devil Emperor can't leave Hell himself, so he can't be bothered with that place. However, the Infernal Guards under his command can, but those Infernal Guards are still quite powerful. Even if the Infernal Guards are powerful, it would still be difficult to tame those powerful vengeful spirits that escaped. Especially after training, they would become stronger, and some of them would even become stronger than some of the strong of Lord Stage S. Qianxiang asked, So you're saying, the Night Devil Hell and the 5 great regions won't join hands? Long Shui thought for a moment, then shook his head. That's not necessarily so, as long as there's enough profit to drive them. The devils in charge of Night Devil Hell will definitely be willing to do so. Qi Shi, the White Tiger's revival, and the devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable's incredible strength. There's still no movement from there, right? Not yet. I will ask Elder Sister about the situation regularly. Qianxiang said, Right now, I need to find LV Chilian and have her pass on the Alive Slain Method's cultivation experience to me. Also, I need to ask her and see if she can find out anything. Just like last time, Xiang only used a strand of his soul to find LV Chilean, and that way he could go there quietly and not be discovered by others. If he went to LV Chilean openly, it would be rather troublesome, and he was worried that LV Chilean would not see him. Xiang's strand of soul was only left after being lightly touched by the array formation, but he had used the power of space to go through the array formation and the array formation, allowing his soul to easily enter the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. However, not long after he entered the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, he felt a strong surge of spiritual energy attacking him. Sister Chilean, it's me. Please have mercy. Xiang anxiously used his spirit chi to send a message. If a strand of his spirit was destroyed, that would consume a lot of his spirit chi. It would be best to avoid it. You're always sneaking around. Aren't you in the Ice Dragon Villa? If you were to personally come, you would die. Xiang's delicate voice came from within Xiang's mind. I'm in the Heavenly Dragon Realm. I think this is good. I don't need to see each other to communicate. Xiang laughed. Your cultivation in the divine way is increasing quite quickly. You've discovered me already. LV Chilean was silent for a moment. She knew clearly that the reason she was able to improve so quickly was because of Xiang. But at that time, she had cultivated the God's join method with her, causing the relationship between her and Xiang to become extremely subtle. That kind of mental integration made it difficult for her to differentiate between real and fake, causing her to have a complicated feeling towards Xiang that was hard to describe. This is all thanks to you. LV Chilean sighed. You're afraid that I won't meet you. Xiang was indeed worried. He had forcefully cultivated the God's join method with LV Chilean back then. Seeing that Xiang did not answer, LV Chilean asked again, You think I hate you? That's right. Xiang replied. LV Chilean sighed. Why are you looking for me? When I was learning the alive slain method, I encountered many difficulties. I was unable to comprehend them in a short period of time, so I wanted to seek your advice. Xiang said. Enter my divine sense C. Xiang had helped her many times, saved her life and little Lizzie's life. As long as Xiang asked her for help, no matter how much she hated Xiang, she would not reject him. Under LV Chilean's guidance, Xiang felt that he had arrived at a sea of flowers, and LV Chilean's divine sense CS had also cultivated up to a small world. At this moment, he had arrived at a valley that was filled with colorful plants, and the surrounding mountains were filled with beautiful and dazzling flowers. LV Chilean's soul sat atop a white lotus in a lake in the valley. Dressed in a white dress, she seemed to have merged with the huge white lotus, making her look holy and beautiful. Your divine sense C is really beautiful, Xiang praised. As expected, everyone's divine sense C is different, and it has a lot to do with her soul. I received a lot of inspiration from your divine sense C last time, plus my cultivation with you. So, in an instant, he broke through the bottleneck that had hindered me for many years, advanced by leaps and bounds, and formed his own divine sense C world. LV Chilean moaned softly. Her voice was gentle and light, and her expression was relaxed. A while ago, she had truly witnessed many powerful existences in this world. Her father's strength made her feel reverence, and Xiang, who was once much weaker than her, had now even surpassed her. Towards Xiang's current strength, she felt a deep reverence from the bottom of her heart. It was because Xiang had once saved her when she was very weak and poisoned a holy beast, so the current Xiang was even more unfathomable. LV Chilean floated gently towards Xiang from atop the bead's gigantic white lotus. Is your true divine soul still in Heavenly Dragon Realm? Could it be that my current divine soul is unable to do so? As Xiang looked at LV Chilean's beautiful face, which carried a light smile, although the current LV Chilean no longer had that kind of arrogance, she still gave others a feeling of holiness and inviolability. LV Chilean chuckled. Are you afraid that my small divine sense world won't be able to accommodate you? She then said seriously, the cultivation experience of the alive slain method is extremely vast. It's difficult for your wisp of soul to be able to contain it all in one go. Xiang didn't know why, but when he faced the current LV Chilean, he suddenly felt some pressure. Fine. I'll have my soul come over right away. Xianxia said. Let me out first and confirm my location. My physical body is coming along as well. Physical body. Xianxia immediately started to let his imagination run wild. Don't let your imagination run wild. LV Chilian scoffed. Hurry. Xianxia left LV Chilian's divine sense C. He was currently in LV Chilian's room, in a secret room that was constructed deep underground. Long Shui saw Xianxia open his eyes. His forehead was perspiring profusely, so he asked anxiously, What's wrong? Have been abused by the Flower Emperor. Xianxia took a deep breath. If you mistreat me, I might feel better, but this woman is too good, and even allowed my body to pass through. Long Shui immediately became excited. Is this for me to devote my life to you? No way, I want to go with you. Stop bullshitting. Her father is devil-suppressing heavenly venerable. I'm just looking for death. Xianxia shook her head. Don't think too much about it. She probably just wants to guide me in refining the spirit liquid. Running back and forth all day. How tiring. Xianxia once again opened up the spatial passageway and went to LV Chilian's room. Seeing Xianxia walk over so easily, LV Chilian was a little surprised. Your control of space is way beyond my imagination. My father said that he wouldn't even be able to reach your level. When Xianxia followed the Dragon Emperor across the space to head to Heavenly Dragon Realm, many of the experts present gasped in surprise. Have you fused with a rule spiritual bead and mastered the laws of space? LV Chilian suddenly thought of something and asked curiously. This was Xianxia's secret. He had never told anyone before, but LV Chilian actually knew about it. How do you know? Xianxia said, Even if my control over space is very strong, you probably won't be able to tell. LV Chilian rolled her eyes as she lowered her head and softly said, Last time, when we were cultivating together, I could sense a lot of your things. Thinking about the God's Join method technique, there were indeed many things that would be exposed if he practiced with LV Chilian. Let's begin. Your soul will enter my divine sense C. LV Chilian came to the bedside and sat cross-legged on top of it. Seeing that Xianxia was standing there unmoving, she urged, Hurry and come over. Xianxia stared blankly at him for a while, then walked over and sat on the bed as well. He closed his eyes, released his divine soul, and entered LV Chilian's divine sense C world, returning to that quiet valley. Your soul is powerful again. LV Chilian could very clearly feel that even her divine sense C world was trembling, because Xianxia's divine sense C was simply too strong. Xianxia immediately suppressed the power of his divine soul. Once he obtained a set of divine deity, his divine soul would naturally become extremely terrifying. Only by using this method can you quickly obtain the experience of my alive slain method, and allow you to use it quickly. LV Chilian said as a beam of white light shot out from between the brows of her divine soul, entering the center of Xianxia's brows. Then, she softly said, Don't resist. I will do my best to share my memories and thoughts with you. Thank you. Xianxia was extremely grateful. He knew that LV Chilian had sacrificed a lot like this, because this was equivalent to hiding something in his heart and opening it up to Xianxia without reservation. Xianxia suddenly seemed to know what LV Chilian was thinking, but LV Chilian had controlled his thoughts very well, and appeared to be very calm. At this time, something related to the alive slain method suddenly appeared in Xianxia's mind, as if it had fused with his memories. Xianxia saw an extremely beautiful little girl, who was frowning as she faced a cliff. That cliff was the place where Xianxia had learnt the alive slain method. All of the memories between LV Chilian and the alive slain method could make Xianxia have a deeper and more thorough comprehension of this matter. Those memories flashed past Xianxia's mind at lightning speed, but Xianxia could clearly feel that the little girl had experienced an extremely long period of time. She had gone from a little girl to a slim and graceful young lady, and in the end, she had grown into a mature and charming peerless beauty. A large amount of memories blended into Xianxia's sea of consciousness. That was because LV Chilian had thousands of years of experience cultivating alive slain method, and only two people with a strong divine soul could accomplish such a thing with close contact with a divine soul. LV Chilian's memories were very boring and dull, but later on, there was a memory that left a deep impression on Xianxia. It was when LV Chilian had kissed him in the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, when his creation divine liquid and LV Chilian's spirit liquid had fused together, and the two of them operated the technique to condense spirit liquid. They had kissed for a very long time, and LV Chilian had actually tried to do it a few times after that. All right, how much you can harvest will depend on you. LV Chilian's face was a little flushed, because she didn't expect herself to not have hidden that memory of hers, allowing Xianxia to see it. Xianxia looked at LV Chilian, his heart thumping hard. He did not expect this high and mighty flower emperor to have such a thought about him, which made him excited. The atmosphere was a little awkward. LV Chilian turned his head away and said softly, "You can leave my divine sensei." In order to avoid any awkwardness, LV Chilian hurriedly got off the bed. "I need a large amount of medicinal ingredients during this time, so you should cultivate properly here. If you have any, come to the training room next door and find me." LV Chilian left the room and sat on the bed, feeling a little disappointed. He shook his head and stopped thinking about the complicated feelings between him and LV Chilian. "Little scoundrel, how is it? Have you eaten her yet?" Long Shui's voice echoed within Xiang's divine sensei. When Xiang left the heavenly region, he left a trace of his divine soul within Long Shui's divine sensei. "What are you thinking?" Xiang snorted. "It's been more than 10 days but nothing happened." Long Shui curled his lips. "It's really useless." Xiang ignored her and focused on organizing the cultivation experiences that LV Chilian gave him. He and LV Chilian actually went on for more than 10 days. This time, his understanding of the alive-slain method was very simple. Previously, many of the difficulties had now been cleared up for him, allowing him to operate the alive-slain method very smoothly, absorbing the Holy Spirit Qi outside, adding to his body and the strange energy in the divine sensei. He was able to condense the spirit liquid on his tongue. 1 drop every 2 hours, that's too slow. Xiang looked at the transparent drop of spirit liquid that was emitting a faint red light. He had no idea how powerful this spirit liquid was. LV Chilian could condense a lot in 2 hours. She only needed to condense spirit liquid for a month's time. This speed made Xiang envious, but for Long Shui's appetite, it was still too slow. Xiang walked out of the room and knocked on the door. "Come in," LV Chilian shouted lightly. Xiang pushed open the door and entered. A burst of fragrance immediately assaulted his nose. This fragrance immediately made Xiang remember the last time she kissed LV Chilian, the fragrance of the spirit liquid in her mouth. "Sister Chilian, how is the spirit liquid compared to yours?" Xiang took out a jade box. Inside it was a drop of the spirit liquid he just condensed. LV Chilian sat cross-legged on the carpet. In front of her were a few jade bottles. Inside them were the spirit liquids that she condensed, and a burst of fragrance wafted out. "He's as strong as mine. How long did you take to condense 1 drop?" LV Chilian nodded his head in satisfaction. 2 hours. Xiang said somewhat embarrassedly, because he knew that LV Chilian was much faster than him. "That's right. As long as we can get familiar with each other, you'll become like me very soon." LV Chilian returned the drop of spirit liquid to Xiang. Xiang squatted down and picked up a jade bottle. Looking at the spirit liquid that LV Chilian condensed, he asked, "Why is there no such fragrance? Is it because you ate too many flowers? Why is it so fragrant?" LV Chilian chuckled. "This might be related to my physique. If not, why would others call me Flower Emperor? The spirit liquid you have right now is exactly the same to me. There's no difference, it's just that the smell is different." Xiang shook his head. "I don't think so. Why don't we mix our powers together and take a look?" Last time when Xiang fused his creation divine liquid with LV Chilian, they had become extremely far apart, and even LV Chilian found it difficult to understand them. LV Chilian nodded. She also wanted to see what would happen. She took the jade box from Xiang's hands and dripped a drop of her own spirit liquid onto Xiang's drop. The two drops actually fused together quickly without any change. But Xianxia and LV Qilian were frowning. Because when the two drops of spirit liquid fuse, even if there was no change, the one drop should at least be a little larger, or at least the sum of the two drops. Previously, when his creation divine liquid and LV Qilian's spirit liquid fuse, not only would there be a huge change, the other drop would also become a lot larger. But now, when their two spirit liquids merged together, it was extremely strange. This is true fusion. Xianxia said, "Add another drop of your spirit liquid." LV Qilian did as he was told, but this drop of water was unable to merge with the previous one, and was rejected. "Concentrate one more drop, 2 more drops yours, 2 more drops mine, and see if the result is the same," LV Qilian said. If fusing with Xianxia's spirit liquid had a huge effect, she would not have to bitterly stay here to cultivate all day. Xianxia immediately activated a live slain method and started to refine. After 2 hours, he took out a drop of spirit liquid and dripped it into the jade box, fusing it with the drop that LV Qilian had rejected. At this time, there were 2 separate drops inside the jade box. LV Qilian shook the jade box, and when the 2 drops collided, it was as she had expected. It was like 2 grains of rice colliding and then fusing into one, but only as big as one. At this moment, the 4 drops of water had become one. Although the water droplets did not become larger, Xianxia and LV Qilian both knew that these 4 drops of water had been compressed at a high level, and the quality was extremely high. Xianxia laughed. "I already said that our spirit liquids are different. Could it be that this is due to the difference between yin and yang?" LV Qilian frowned. He shook the jade box and used his divine power to observe the drop of spirit liquid carefully, then said, "Let me try and see how effective this thing is." She took out a piece of jade dragonflower pendant and wanted to use the jade dragonflower to try it. "If it was only my spirit liquid, I would normally need 1,000 drops in order for this petal to turn into a complete jade dragonflower. It's the most mature type with 10 petals," LV Qilian said. Xianxia said, "We only have 4 drops. It's better to use some low-grade medicinal ingredients." LV Qilian shook his head. "After fusing, it won't only be 4 drops. According to my speculations, the effect should be at least 20 to 30 times the original, which is equivalent to around 100 drops. If I can create a single petal, it would prove that my speculations were correct." In this regard, LV Qilian had a lot of experience. She, a woman, relied on these spirit liquids to establish this strong hundreds of flowers palace. LV Qilian dropped the petal inside the jade box and dripped it into the 4-in-1 spirit liquid. After dropping it onto it, a petal quickly appeared beside the root of the flower petal. "So it's like that. With the 2 of us working together, it won't be long before your seed sprouts." LV Qilian's eyes burned with excitement. "Don't you have a seed that can lead to the heaven realm when it is planted? That heaven realm is full of strange flowers and herbs." Back then, when Xianxia gave the seed to LV Qilian, he also gave it back to him later on. Xianxia didn't even have a good impression of the heavenly regions. "Did you forget that you and little Lizzie almost lost your lives in that absolute monarch sanctuary the other time?" Xianxia shook her head. "If that heaven realm has the same large amount of strange flowers and herbs as the legends, then the beasts or humans there would definitely be even more powerful. So, for us to head to that place, it would be best to wait until everything is prepared." Yes, LV Qilian wanted to go with Xianxia. Xianxia had a lot of schemes and her strength was strong, so following him would definitely be very safe. But if Xianxia didn't want to go now, there was nothing she could do. Xianxia said, "Sister Qilian, why don't we work together for a while and fuse a bit more spirit liquid? This way, we can speed up the production of a large number of high-grade herbs. Right now, I need a large batch of Immortal grade 2nd rank, 3rd rank, and 4th rank medicinal ingredients." "What is the high-class medicinal ingredient that you are talking about?" LV Qilian asked. Xianxia laughed. "It's above Immortal grade 7, but I don't have it right now. Only sacred animal fruit S and Tianlong Deness that can grow. Right now, I can condense 10 drops in 2 hours. You have to catch up to my speed first," LV Qilian said. "Those above Immortal grade 7 are extremely rare. but I can still purchase them. Xianxia nodded. I'll cultivate here with you. He took out a dozen or so holy stones and placed them around him. This could provide them with more Holy Spirit chi. Xianxia had already guessed that Xianxia would have a great harvest from the absolute monarch sanctuary, and these holy stone were what she needed the most. These holy stone were taken out by you from the dragon vein, or perhaps from that absolute monarch sanctuary. LV Chilian also wanted to know how the evolution of Xianxia's dragon vein was progressing. It's been a long time since I've returned to the evil dragon graveyard. Even without me, that place can still function normally, reducing the reliance on me and making the dragon subduing school even more hardworking and powerful. Xianxia laughed, although it looked like he was trying to find an excuse to be lazy. Over the years, Dragon Subduing School did not rely on his support to become very strong. So in the future, even without him, Dragon Subduing School would not become weak. The two of them started to condense spirit liquid, and without realizing it, Xianxia released his spirit. He felt that it was kind of boring and wanted to walk around to see Dtion's Hundreds of Flowers palace. Focus. Catch up to my speed. LV Chilian shouted softly. Upon sensing the power of Xianxia's divine soul, her divine soul couldn't help but tremble, as if their divine soul only knew of a miraculous connection. It's just that I'm not familiar enough. After I get familiar with you, I should be able to catch up to you. Xianxia used his soul to communicate with LV Chilian. Sister Chilian, are you using the spirit liquid to let the Holy Spirit rabbit reproduce? I heard that the Holy Spirit rabbit are extremely difficult to reproduce. Yu Xuelian, after Mu Jialan and her daughter joined the Hundreds of Flowers palace, I had a secret talk with them. After a few attempts, I used a large amount of spirit liquid and finally produced 7. When LV Chilian spoke of this matter, he became a little agitated. Those Holy Spirit rabbit are actually not holy beasts, but a top-notch holy level elixir. Xianxia was suspicious before, so he smiled and said, doesn't that mean that the women of your Hundreds of Flowers palace can rely on their strong physical bodies to dominate us in the future? That is not it. To be able to unleash the effects of the Holy Spirit rabbit's blood is not something anyone can do. But if you work hard to cultivate, are willing to work hard, and are ambitious people, you can use the Holy Spirit rabbit's blood. If you only want to rely on the Holy Spirit rabbit's blood, being lazy in terms of cultivation is completely useless. LV Chilian said. Snow Lotus and the other two are very experienced with the use of Jade Rabbit blood, so I arranged for them to choose the appropriate disciples and then secretly use Jade Rabbit blood to cultivate. I haven't seen them in a long time. I really want to go look for them now. Xianxia laughed. Their bodies should be powerful now. Of course. LV Chilian suddenly opened his eyes with a strange expression on his face. Your relationship with the three of them seems to be pretty good. It's just a relationship of friendship. Someone worth trusting. Xianxia laughed. Why are you so sensitive? LV Chilian snorted. Then what about the beautiful goddess? She seems to also have an unclear relationship with you. Don't recklessly harm my Hundreds of Flowers palace's disciples. The beautiful goddess is also my friend, so of course I wouldn't dare to do anything to her. Xianxia's background is quite impressive. Didn't she tell you before? Xianxia asked. No, I also know that she has a strong background. But she said that you and her are very close, and Phoenix King strongly recommended her. So Shuang, that girl, said some good words for her. At this time, LV Chilian became more and more interested in Xianxia's identity. Can you tell me about her? Thought for a moment. This is still up to her. When you're looking for her, tell her that I told you to go ask her. It seems that your relationship with her is even closer than I imagined, LV Chilian said. Just like you and me, or Qinlian and I, we can trust each other, but we don't have that kind of relationship. Xianxia laughed. Bastard. LV Chilian scolded lightly. Did you treat my Hundreds of Flowers palace as your imperial harem? Xianxia laughed heartily. So you're saying that you're helping me manage the palace master of the imperial harem. You said so yourself. LV Chilian's face was a little red. Within her Hundreds of Flowers palace, there were many girls who had good relations with Xianxia, and they were all extremely outstanding. Even she had that kind of indescribable relationship with Xianxia, but she could do nothing to him, and she could not harden her heart to break off relationship with him. Concentrate. Focus. Xianxia recited these words, but his strong and lively soul remained floating in the training room, causing LV Qilian to keep his eyes on him, to prevent his soul from running around. After all, the Hundreds of Flowers Palace was filled with girls. She was worried that Xianxia would run over there and peek at the girls bathing. Big Sister Qilian, has your father told you anything about Devil Killing Summit? Recently, Night Devil Hell has been in a state of unrest. Xianxia said. Even the Devil Killing Summit has turned black. LV Qilian said. I am now handing over Hundreds of Flowers Palaces to little Lizzie and Xinlian. Both of them have rich management experience. I plan to go into closed-door cultivation for a period of time, so I do not really understand these things. My father just said that he wanted to revive Devil-suppressing Divine Palace and deal with the sudden change in Night Devil Hell. So that means you're the main Palace Master. Xinlian is the second Palace Master, and little Lizzie is the third Palace Master. Xianxia laughed. More or less, but they all have the same amount of power. LV Qilian glared at Xianxia fiercely. Previously, Xianxia had teased him many times and called him his little wife or something like that. Xianxia curled his lips. Don't look at me like that. Your Hundreds of Flowers Palace is able to rope in so many outstanding and powerful women. I have done a great service. If you need me, I can help you find a few stronger ones in the future. LV Qilian had admitted that he had helped her gather many outstanding women, but she was very worried that this place would become Xianxia's imperial harem. Xianxia's refining speed had already increased. She could produce 2 drops in 2 hours, but it was still far from LV Qilian's level. She had condensed 10 drops in 2 hours, and now LV Qilian was replicating a large amount of Yushin Dan medicinal herbs. Your Hundreds of Flowers Palace consumes so many medicinal ingredients so quickly. Xianxia asked. Of course you can. Xianxian and Xiangyue's pill refining skills are already very high. There are many pills out there, so the speed is fast and the quality is high. LV Qilian knew that the relationship between Xianxia and Xianxia was very good, because the pill refining skills the two of them used were very similar to that of Xianxia. Xianxia said in surprise, I only gave Xianxian and Xiangyue some pointers in the past, but they're already this powerful now. My Hundreds of Flowers Palace lacks a lot of outstanding female alchemists. Don't hurt them. LV Qilian looked at Xianxia with a strict expression. Xianxia laughed. Xiangyue is already my person, and she's even my female slave. How could I possibly hurt her? Beast. LV Qilian snorted. You lack an outstanding female alchemist. I'll help you look for one. It just so happens that I have a candidate, and her relationship with Xianxian Xiangyue is also very good. She's also beautiful and has a solid foundation. Xianxia laughed. Grand Asgard Mistress? Do you accept her? LV Qilian said as his brows furrowed. How could I not know who this female alchemist is? But if you want to find her, you have to first find Yen Xilan. I will give you a set of secret records. You can contact her if you go anywhere and mark them. Then, ask her to gather her sisters and join the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Xianxia replied, Yen Xilan was originally at the Ice Dragon Villa, but she has been out on a tour recently. Sister Xilan is very powerful. A divine cultivator who started cultivating the divine way a long time ago. I've heard of her, but I've never been able to find her. LV Qilian nodded her head. Towards these outstanding women, she had always wanted to win them over to her Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Yen Xilan was the famous Xilan immortal fairy a long time ago, and she had tried a few times to rope him in, but Yen Xilan had rejected her attempts. And now, with just a single sentence, Xianxia was able to persuade her. She had to admit, Xianxia was very good with women. LV Qilian asked, That outstanding alchemist, what's her name? Xianxia said, She is called Du Yenyao. Her grandfather is called Du Hai, a high-ranking Dan Immortal who travels everywhere, and is currently as powerful as Li Tianjun. Don't worry. The person I recommend cannot be wrong. I know about her and you. LV Qilian sighed. Back then, he could still gather some information regarding Xianxia at Sacred Dan Realm. Xianxia laughed sinisterly. You know how powerful I am. In the future, you must help me take care of them. LV Chilean snorted twice and said, You're so amazing. Help me find a few outstanding girls. I will be grateful to you. Say, as long as you have their whereabouts, I will help you lure them to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Xianxia said very confidently. Bai Yuyu, Su Meiyao, Bai Ziqian, Yui Immortal Fairy, they are all famous women from many years ago, and their strengths and potential are all extremely huge. Back then, they had already done many earth-shattering things, but they have already been missing for many years. LV Chilean replied. I've been looking for them for many years. Even if it's Bai Ziqian, I still dare to accept them. Bai Ziqian also used the magical corruption gas, but that was something that happened a long time ago. At that time, Xianxia wasn't even born yet, so LV Chilean didn't make a connection between Xianxia and his magical corruption gas. Xianxia did not expect LV Chilean to think about these 4 women for so long. He laughed. There are 2 that I have settled. Ji Meixian is Yui Immortal Fairy. What? It really is her? No wonder I keep having the feeling that her way of doing things is so familiar. LV Chilean said in surprise. There's one more. Bai Ziqian, I introduced her to your mother. She is currently following the Grandma LV, and if I meet her in the future, I think I will just have to say a few words. She will definitely join the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, and Sister Qinlian will use poison as well. Xianxia laughed. LV Chilean took a deep breath. What Xianxia had done in the dark had surprised her. She did not think that Xianxia had actually come into contact with powerful women like Bai Ziqian and Bai Ziqian before, and she was suddenly very curious about what had happened between them. Go and ask Ji Meixian about the details. It involves more of her secrets. Without her permission, I can't say more. Xianxia said. LV Chilean nodded his head. She is Yui Immortal Fairy, so even if I wanted to find out her secret, I wouldn't be able to. Since I want to rope her in, I naturally trust her a lot. It's just that Bai Ziqian is a bit troublesome. She's a witch after all. But if she's with my mother, it should be much better. I'm just afraid that she won't approve of me. Right now, she knew that Bai Ziqian definitely had quite a few of Xianxia's super old poison on him. She had to admit that Xianxia's methods of winning the hearts of others were very generous, and gave some of the things that others needed the most. Of course, she didn't know that Xianxia being magnanimous to Bai Ziqian was because he was Bai Yuyu's elder sister. Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu. How much do you know about them? These 2 women who changed her fate respected LV Chilean very much. Therefore, in order to repay them, Xianxia had to be of the greatest help to the Hundreds of Flowers Palace. Shook his head. I don't know much about it. Back then, they were chased and injured by their enemies, and I had kept them for a period of time, but they were worried that it would implicate me, so they left again. I was in closed-door cultivation during that period of time, so I did not have much contact with them. Xianxia said, Do you know how many enemies they have? You actually dared to easily take them in, LV Chilean said in a cold voice. Even though Bai Yuyu is a demoness of the 1st generation, the 2 of them have done many good deeds together while she is with Su Meiyao, and their character is still rather good, so I really admire them. As long as they join the Hundreds of Flowers Palace, the ones chasing after them will be my enemies. The current LV Chilean had the aura of a great emperor. Xianxia thought that her emperors might have been erased. But now, it seems that she had restrained herself, and if there was a day when she had sufficient strength, this aura would return to her body. Xianxia said, If you are prepared to shelter them, then prepare to deal with Mei Emperor, which is their greatest enemy. You know a lot about them, LV Chilean said. Could it be that you're also looking for them? Bai Ziqian is Bai Yuyu's big sister. She told me. Xianxia did not want to reveal anything related to them yet. Like the 10 Heavens Supreme Lord back then, she had roped all the heroes of the realm and helped him achieve his goals. It was just that LV Chilean only took in females. If she really became one in the future, she would definitely have a lot of power and influence in the new generation of emperors. There was another reason why Xianxia and LV Chilean had mentioned the Mei Emperor. It was because he wanted to find the Mei Emperor and bring the head and soul of the Mei Emperor before Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu. Where are you in the Mei Emperor? She was heavily injured back then, but she definitely wasn't dead. Xianxia said, if this woman revives, I dare say that she will definitely be your #1 opponent in the future. LV Chilian frowned. May Emperor used her unrivaled charm to confuse many strong warriors, and even great Yen Jing found a great number of rare treasures and various powerful techniques. Even if she was severely injured, she must have recovered in these few 100,000 years, and her strength was even stronger. Xianxia chuckled. So you better get your father's attention. May Emperor is specifically focused on this kind of strong and difficult to subdue man. LV Chilian sneered. The one who should be careful is you, and you still have the nerve to talk about others. There are a lot of women around me, but they definitely aren't the ones who attract me. They are the ones who establish a relationship of trust between me and them. I don't believe that if you strip right now, I won't even touch you. Xianxia said with complete confidence. A woman who can seduce me has yet to be born. LV Chilian disapproved and continued to sneer. That's where you're wrong. May Emperor isn't strong not because of her attractive appearance, but because of her unique charm. She eats both genders, and there were many women who were defeated by her at that time. Xianxia was immediately furious. This woman truly deserves to die. I am already a woman, and am hurting so many women. How good is it for me? I must kill her. LV Chilian said seriously. Even if you are not affected by her, you have to guarantee that your friends in the dragon subduing school are not bewitching. Also, those women by your side, in the eyes of the May Emperor, are all good prey. That's why I wanted to bring them to you, so that you could train their resistance to this. Xianxia sighed. He was truly worried about this. May Emperor definitely already knew about Dtion. Maybe he had already successfully bewitched a large group of people to help her. LV Chilian said, don't worry. I am not an ordinary person. I have done my research on the May Emperor very thoroughly, and all I can do is to be stronger than her. Xianxia and LV Chilian were discussing secrets while concocting spirit liquid. Although they always acted as if water and fire were not compatible, they could still chat for a few days when chatting. Xianxia, I will definitely become a flower emperor in the future. What about you? Your current strength should be very close to the emperor level. LV Chilian asked. My next goal is to concoct pills. I have mastered all of the celestial slain method, but right now I am mainly training in a live slain method. You should know that the heaven-earth killing method is extremely flexible, and different people can use different effects, so I might use it differently from you in the future. Xianxia smiled faintly. He had already decided on a direction in his heart. With your talent in alchemy, this direction is the right one. Back then, the person who obtained the title of ancestor was the Dan Emperor. You might become an ancestor in the future. LV Chilian agreed with Xianxia's direction very much and thought very highly of him. Xianxia laughed. It's only the ancestor. LV Chilian smiled. Then what else do you want? Is the venerable emperor not enough? How can you not be a god? You should have heard about the matters of the Hell Devil Emperor, right? That fellow is a god. The god of hell. No matter what kind of emperor you are, you have to kneel in front of these gods. Xianxia said indifferently. The ancestor was indeed a bit too shabby for him who had the divine deity. LV Chilian sighed. God's realm. My father gave up everything for the sake of becoming a god back then. But in the end, he was still unable to enter the world of gods and was unable to pass the gods' examination. Most importantly, he was unable to condense his divine deity. A god is also evolved from a mortal, so don't lose your confidence. No matter how difficult it is when the time comes, if you walk in that direction, no matter what the result is, at least you won't regret it. Xianxia said. LV Chilian nodded. Thinking back to when she was still a weak girl, she had never expected herself to have the kind of strength she did today. Xianxia was already able to condense 5 drops of spirit liquid within 2 hours. Let's try out the effects of the 20 drops of liquid each. Xianxia said, I will continue with the large amount of high-level medicinal ingredients. I want to break through to the holy pellet. This was also what LV Chilian needed the most. If Xianxia could succeed, if she wanted Xianxia to help her concoct the holy pellet, Xianxia would definitely not reject her request. Then let me leave my side for now. I will help you condense more spirit liquids. LV Chilian took a deep breath. Don't waste it recklessly. Xianxia smiled and nodded. Definitely not. LV Chilian poured 20 drops of spirit liquid into a jade bowl and then poured 10 more of her spirit liquid into it. 40 drops of spirit liquid merged together into a single drop in an instant. It was extremely mystical. Even if it's two big bowls, they might melt into a single drop. Xianxia exclaimed. If the compression is that high, the quality must be very high. LV Chilian nodded. This drop should be enough to fill half of the holy level's spirit medicine. Xianxia anxiously took out a silver heart. This was a sacred heart fruit. Long Shui had always wanted to taste it. Try this. Xianxia gasped in surprise as he handed the sacred heart fruit over to LV Chilian. Where did you get it? LV Chilian was a little reluctant to cut it in half. Zhang Shang gave this to me. It's a divine craftsman. Xianxia urged. Hurry up and cut it out. If you can duplicate it, I will give you one. All right. LV Chilian took out a sharp dagger and cut open the jumping sacred heart fruit. To have this kind of sacred heart fruit in the future, when he gave her time, she would be able to duplicate a large amount of it. LV Chilian dropped down her and Xianxia's spirit liquid from the cut on half of the sacred heart fruit, and the other half quickly grew back. It's a success, but there's one more side. Xianxia took out the remaining 20 drops of spirit liquid and handed them over to LV Chilian. Looks like we need to use 40 drops of spirit liquid to be able to make a copy of the holy level's ingredients. Under the fusion of their spirit liquids, one sacred heart fruit quickly became two. Here you go. Xianxia happily gave LV Chilian a sacred heart fruit. Thank you. LV Chilian gave him a gentle smile, placed him inside a jade box and said, I will now start to condense spirit liquid for you. How much do you want? Xianxia thought for a moment, then said, 3,000 drops. You can condense 10 drops in 2 hours, and 100 drops would appear every day every 10 hours. This will take a month, and it will be very tiring. It's fine. I'll be fine at most once for half a year. LV Chilian laughed. It's worth it to work hard for 1 month in exchange for a sacred heart fruit. Seeing LV Chilian smiling so sweetly, Xianxia stared at her without blinking. LV Chilian withdrew her smile when she saw Xianxia's fiery gaze. She had obtained a sacred heart fruit and was indeed in an excellent mood. Sister Chilian, I think there's a way that might make our spirit liquid even more powerful. Xianxia's mind flashed, and he suddenly said, What method? LV Chilian frowned. She saw the naughty look in Xianxia's eyes and had a bad premonition. Xianxia scratched his head and laughed. Do you still remember the last time we kissed? No. LV Chilian already knew what method Xianxia was talking about and immediately refused. Sister Chilian, I really do not have any other evil intentions. I just wanted to verify my thoughts. You and I both know that the last time we had such a huge difference in our abilities, and I also don't know what a live slain method is. My spirit liquid was greatly different from yours, but it's different now. Xianxia righteously spoke with a serious face. Now that I have cultivated the alive slain method, my strength is almost the same as yours. When we refined the spirit liquid to fuse together, you have also personally witnessed the effect. Although Xianxia's flowery words sounded very reasonable, she still felt that Xianxia wanted to openly take advantage of her. In that case, forget it. Seeing LV Chilian's unwillingness, Xianxia sighed. Although LV Chilian looked unwilling on the surface, she still wanted to give it a try. Last time, when Xianxia kissed her, the two of them used their powers at the same time, causing the spirit liquid to quickly heal her injuries. It's fine to try, but you must promise me not to touch my body. LV Chilian seemed to have made an important decision. After she said it, she suddenly regretted it, but she was also filled with anticipation. Xianxia was overjoyed and immediately nodded in agreement, laughing. Let's do it on the bed. This is good enough. LV Chilian snorted lightly. Why aren't you coming over? LV Chilian sat on a soft blanket, and when he went over, he felt that this place was no different from a bed. He sat in front of LV Chilian and looked at that slightly embarrassed and beautiful face. Relax. It's not like we've never tried before. Xianxia laughed mischievously as he hugged LV Chilian's slender waist, causing LV Chilian to involuntarily lean into his embrace. Bastard! LV Chilian raised her head to look at Xianxia. Just as she let out a low curse, her sandalwood mouth had already been stuffed shut by Xianxia, and she had already felt a warm tongue seeping into her mouth. She had done it even more shyly when she was at the God's Join method, and she was even more familiar with kissing at that time. In the beginning, the two of them had actually kissed with great tacit understanding. Neither of them mentioned the matter of activating the alive-slain method together, and the two even hugged each other even more tightly. LV Chilian had already taken the initiative to hug Xianxia's body, and the two of them kissed together without thinking. After a long while, the two finally parted their lips. LV Chilian's cheeks were slightly red, her head was lowered, and she was gasping for breath. It was obvious that she had entered a very excited state, and realized that her resistance to Xianxia had become weaker and weaker. Xianxia caressed her face and laughed. Let's begin. We've played enough just now. We can proceed without worry now. LV Chilian's chest rose and fell as she took a few deep breaths. A trace of emotion could be seen in her eyes as she nodded her head slightly. This time, she took the initiative to raise her head, and the two of them were like a couple. Xianxia lay down, allowing LV Chilian to lie on his broad and robust body, and sent her a sound transmission. Start the circulation of the alive-slain method. You're still not very familiar with it yet. I'll cooperate with you, LV Chilian replied. The two of them were already very satisfied before this, but to be able to be so intimate with each other now, their hearts felt extremely happy. In order to test if cultivating the alive-slain method together was effective, they had no choice but to put aside their emotions and focus on operating the alive-slain method. Not long after, a layer of pale white light appeared around their bodies. The tips of their tongues intertwined as they slowly condensed a refreshing energy. It's working. Xianxia excitedly transmitted his voice to LV Chilian, causing him to hug LV Chilian even more tightly. Be serious, LV Chilian said softly. This is a critical moment. Xianxia did not dare move. The two of them continued to embrace each other as if they were in deep sleep. The white glow around them became denser and denser, as a large amount of Holy Spirit Qi was being absorbed by them. The two of them continued like this for more than half a day. During these few hours, they didn't say much and just hugged and kissed each other. They enjoyed themselves quite a bit. It's already been 5 hours. Why don't I feel like I've managed to condense something? Xianxia sent a sound transmission to LV Chilian. Sister Chilian, what about you? LV Chilian was a little surprised. No. I felt like I managed to condense something close to my throat, and it's solid. I think it should be a pearl. Xianxia laughed. It's probably because you're a woman, and half of the children are women. When LV Chilian heard this, she pinched Xianxia's waist lightly. Xianxia had long since gotten used to pinching girls, but he still retaliated against LV Chilian. His huge claw moved to LV Chilian's waist, at the bottom of his butt, and grabbed at it with a bit of force. Don't touch my body. Although LV Chilian was angry, she could only shout out with the sound transmission. She did not seem to be very angry. It has already been 12 hours. LV Chilian sent a sound transmission to Xianxia. I can feel that the pearl I condensed has already formed. It should be over now, right? Anyway, there will be chances in the future. Xianxia laughed. And then, the two of them consciously split up. At this moment, LV Chilian was straddling Xianxia's stomach, and her sandalwood mouth was slightly opened, only to see a transparent pearl floating out from her mouth. This was a transparent pearl that was the size of a longan. LV Chilian placed the pearl in her palm and creased her eyebrows, carefully observing it. At this moment, she was still quite excited, because the spirit liquid that had solidified into a solid was definitely not an ordinary one. She and Xianxia had been pestering each other for a long time before being able to produce this thing. Sister Chilian, how should we use this thing? Based on your experience, what kind of effects do you think it would have? Xianxia did not understand much about this, but he knew that this pearl was very powerful. LV Chilean exclaimed, "Unbelievable. I never thought that fusing them in this way would actually be even more powerful. Could it be that the alive-slain method's final profound meaning is the fusion of yin and yang?" Xianxia laughed. "Of course, the continuation of life is always like this." LV Chilean nodded. She thought so too. When she was training with the alive-slain method, she had never thought of this question. She did not expect that by chance she would discover the greatest mystery of the alive-slain method. How are the effects of this pearl? Xianxia was very curious. What do you want to try? This is not a liquid. It can't be dropped into the medicinal herbs, right? LV Chilean said, "Based on the energy I feel, I think I can replicate at least 5 sacred heart fruit. Take a basin of water, and then release the Holy Spirit chi from the holy stone and merge it with the water, turning the water into the Holy Spirit water." LV Chilean said, "I have already tried this method before. It is one of the methods to quickly duplicate a large amount of medicinal herbs." Xianxia took out a square jade box that was as big as a wash basin and took out a jade bottle. He poured some Holy Spirit water inside. "I got this Holy Spirit water from the sacred domain. Can you use it directly?" Xianxia asked. "Sure." LV Chilean took out the sacred heart fruit that Xianxia had just gifted her and evenly cut it into 6 pieces and placed it inside the box that was filled with the Holy Spirit water. Xianxia knew what LV Chilean wanted to do and said excitedly, "You want to soak this pearl in the water and melt it?" "That's right." LV Chilean placed the spirit orb into the water, and when the spirit orb entered the water, after sensing the sacred heart fruit that was cut into 6 pieces, it started to release a silver light, and the spirit orb slowly became smaller and smaller. The silver light flowed into the sacred heart fruit fragments. In the blink of an eye, the 6 pieces of sacred heart fruit meat inside the jade box had actually grown at a rapid rate, turning the 6 pieces of meat into 6 pieces of sacred heart fruit. Previously, when they were fusing the spirit liquid, they already felt that it was very fast, but now the speed at which the spirit pearl was replicating was even more terrifying. LV Chilean anxiously fished out the 6 sacred heart fruits from the water, then cut another one into half and threw it into the water. The 2 halves of the sacred heart fruit quickly became 2. It turned out that the healing life energy inside the halves had not been used up completely. "Here, you can use this water again and again." LV Chilean placed the copied 6 sacred heart fruits into a jade box and handed it over to Xianxia. "You don't want it?" Xianxia took it and exclaimed as he looked at the 6th brother's popping and jumping sacred heart fruit. "I don't need it right now. When I need it, I can also condense the spirit liquid and duplicate it myself." LV Chilean said softly, "Next, should we continue?" Xianxia laughed. "Of course we have to continue. This will save us a lot of time. We can get 20 out of it in 10 days, which is enough for me to use for a long time." 10 days in a row. LV Chilean let out a faint sigh, and with slightly red cheeks, she softly replied, "All right, but we can only condense 1 every day. We'll do our own for the rest of the time. It's not good to be like that all day long." The 2 of them had originally planned to rest for a while, but they were not tired at all. When they used the alive-slain method together, not only would it remove their fatigue, it seemed that it would also bring them benefits just like dual cultivation. 10 days later, Xianxia had 15 of those kinds of pearls in his hands. As Xianxia's usage of the alive-slain method increased, he and LV Chilean could condense these kinds of pearls in only 6 hours while cultivating. However, Xianxia felt that his greatest gain was the relationship he had with LV Chilean. Although they did not say it out loud, they knew very well that their relationship had already been solidified here. "When are you going to Heavenly Dragon Realm?" LV Chilean asked. She did not know why Xianxia was going to the Heavenly Dragon Realm, but she was sure it was because there was something important. "Wait a moment." Xianxia giggled. "Could it be that you can't bear to part with me?" "No, if you're going to the Heavenly Dragon Realm, it would be best if you came back to visit Dtion after a period of time. The current situation is unfathomable," LV Chilean said. Xianxia took out a few jade boxes that contained blood ginseng S, Tianshan holy fruit S, phoenix fruits, and blood exquisite fruits. You should have the holy lotus seed. Xianxia said, hurry up and copy all of these. If you are free, you can do it a little more. LV Chilian was not surprised to see Xianxia taking out so many holy level S. She only exclaimed in her heart. Indeed, it was as she had guessed. Xianxia had already grasped a lot of holy level S. In these 10 days after Xianxia and LV Chilian condensed spirit pearls together, there was still a lot of time to condense spirit liquids. Xianxia also gave the spirit liquids to her, allowing her to fuse them together, which would be faster. Xianxia replied, I may have to go to that sacred domain. There is a very large super old sacred city there, where I can obtain the high-grade immortal pills that I lack. I hope that when I return, I would already be a pill saint. After LV Chilian finished copying the holy level medicinal herbs, he nodded towards Xianxia. You definitely can do it. Leave this place to me. After a while, I'll go to the Ice Dragon Villa to talk to Xianxia and the others, and teach them some methods to resist the Mei Emperor's charm art. I can rest assured now, thank you. Xianxia and LV Chilian embraced each other. You should be careful too. You should also be Mei Emperor's #1 prey. LV Chilian smiled sweetly. Do you think she can hunt me? Of course not. Xianxia kissed her red lips and laughed. Because I've already killed you. After Xianxia finished speaking, his body gradually merged with the fluctuating space behind him and disappeared. After returning to the heavenly dragon realm, Long Shui closed her eyes and started to cultivate. Right now, she wanted to use the power of the strange white mountain and give Lung Yulan a share of the supreme dragon blood. Xianxia laid on the bright and comfortable stone room, gently stroking the soft carpet below. The scene where he and LV Chilian laid on the ground, entangled with each other, couldn't help but reappear in front of him. Laughing so wantonly, are you thinking of something bad? Long Shui laughed out loud as he pounced towards Xianxia, laid on his body, and smelled all over it. What are you doing? It's been a few days and you've turned into a puppy. Xianxia slapped her buttocks. Stop sniffing. Long Shui scoffed. The fragrance of the woman on your body is too strong. I just want to see who it belongs to. The smell has already penetrated deep into your skin. It seems that the 100-blossom emperor, has developed quite well. Jealous? Didn't you tell me to eat her? Xianxia laughed and pinched Long Shui's chest. Long Shui strongly pushed his hand away and asked with some excitement, You really ate her? Xianxia shook his head and laughed. Not yet, but she's already a piece of meat on my chopping block. It's just a matter of time. Yulan goes out to hunt holy beasts all day long. Xianxia asked. That old lunatic took her on a treasure hunt. It's boring for her here anyway, so it's good for her to follow that lunatic around. Long Shui said, When you went to find LV Chilian, other than being a lot closer to her, did you have any other gains? Xianxia pinched her face and laughed. Of course there is. He took 2 out and said, These are all made by LV Chilian and I. She doesn't want any of them, so you have to thank her in the future. Wow! How did you make so much so fast? How did you do it? Long Shui carried the jade box in his arms and already picked up a sacred heart fruit to chew on it. It made Xianxia feel that it was a little strange, as if Long Shui was eating his heart. He could be considered a dual cultivator. Xianxia took out 15 of those beads, and then told Long Shui everything. Long Shui exclaimed, The alive slain method is indeed wondrous and endless. Oh right, why don't you request a deeper level of dual cultivation with her? Body and body are fused, and the soul will merge together. When that happens, the effects will certainly be even more terrifying, wasting away a good opportunity. That's not the time. I did have that thought, but when I was with her, I could feel her thoughts. She still doesn't want that kind of thing to happen to me at that time. Xianxia said. On the other hand, I have already gotten a few sacred heart fruit for you. When are you going to bring those supreme dragon blood out? I want to go to the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary quickly and take a look at Sister Meiyao and Sister Yu. Long Shui said, Soon, I will be able to make them after eating these 4 sacred heart fruit. I miss them a lot too. Long Shui was quick, he waited for half a year. But he was not idle during this period of time. He condensed the spirit liquid and copied out a large amount of sacred animal fruit S and Tianlong Den S medicinal ingredients, allowing him to successfully refine Immortal Grade 5 and Immortal Grade 6 Sacred Animal Dan S and Tianlong Dan S. This is the supreme dragon blood. Xianxia looked at the hair like white silk in Long Shui's hand, and upon closer inspection, it looked very much like a dragon. Of course, this is the same thing as divine deity. Yulan, in the future, if nothing unexpected happens, the supreme dragon blood that has perfect condition will definitely have it. Long Shui said with great confidence. Yulan, open your mouth. Ah. Lung Yulan listened very much to Long Shui's words. After opening her mouth, Long Shui placed the supreme dragon blood into her mouth. The supreme dragon blood seemed to have a spirit of its own and entered Lung Yulan's mouth, causing Lung Yulan's entire body to instantly shine with a burst of white light. I succeeded, but I'll need some time to get used to it. Long Shui giggled. He patted Lung Yulan's shoulders and asked, "Do you feel anything now?" Lung Yulan frowned and shook his head. "I can't describe that feeling. It seems like the dragon vein isn't obedient." "That's right. This is the reason that we don't have a perfect match. Stay in the Ice Dragon Villa for a while and let those old ice dragons help you. Your brother and I are going to a rather dangerous place," Long Shui said. At this time, Lung Yulan was very clear about her current situation. She could not go exploring with Xianxia and the others, so she revealed a smile and nodded. "Once I have perfectly fused with the supreme dragon blood, I will become very powerful." Xianxia patted her shoulder and encouraged her. "Then work hard. I'll send you and Master back." Huang Jintian, who was at the side, had been considering something. "Are you going to the Saint Realm?" "I want to go with you. Cat is still there. I can go find him and hunt for Saint Beasts." Huang Jintian laughed. "Bring me along." Xianxia sent Lung Yulan back to the Ice Dragon Villa. At this time, Huang Jintian and Long Shui were both in the Serene Jade Ring. He had already gone to the sacred region before and had spatial senses towards the sacred region, so he did not need to use the teleportation platform to head to the sacred region. After arriving at the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, Xianxia had passed through that layer of light and released Huang Jintian. He could go and find Mauer by himself. Xianxia and Long Shui, on the other hand, were Sky Capital, which was in the middle of entering the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary, heading to Super Old Sacred City. Back then, he had gotten to know two very strong female rankers in the Super Old Sacred City. It was just that he did not know whether Ji Linger and Red Cloud were still at the house they bought back then. "I remember that they both have enemies family. As long as Super Old Sacred City is not settled by that Super Holy School, they should be fine," Long Shui said. She was resting inside the ring, although she was very strong now, but she was very lazy and would definitely not sit when she was lying down. Xianxia began to feel the spatial undulations when he was in Super Old Sacred City. As long as he could sense the space there, he would be able to use the power of the spatial laws to pass through. Sister Meiyao and Miss Yu are in Divine Feather School. Even if Super Holy School controls the entire Super Old Sacred City, I think they would help Ji Linger and the rest. The space around Xianxia started to fluctuate. He had already found the space where the Super Old Sacred City was. He did not teleport directly to the inside of the Super Old Sacred City, but instead, he was in a wasteland outside the Super Old Sacred City, and was still a distance away from the Super Old Sacred City. He was worried that if he got too close to the Super Old Sacred City, he would be discovered by the rankers inside the Super Old Sacred City, causing unnecessary trouble. It was very safe outside Super Old Sacred City because many rankers killed Saint Beasts to earn Holy Stone S. Saint Beasts coming to this place was simply a suicide. Xianxia crossed a wasteland and entered the Super Old Sacred City, heading to the strongest region in the Sky Capital. However, the moment he entered the Super Old Sacred City, he heard a piece of bad news. He never thought that not long after he left the sacred domain, such a thing would happen. The entire Super Old Sacred City was actually controlled by the Super Holy School, and a power like the Divine Feather School didn't dare to say much either. "What's going on? We haven't left for too long, right?" Moreover, the strength of the super holy school at that time shouldn't have been that strong either. Xianxia found it hard to understand, as a large half of the Heaven Sacred District had already become super holy school. Long Shui said in a serious voice, "If I bought wrongly, the super holy school should have been won over by the Hell Devil Emperor. If I can gather a large number of experts from the sacred domain to attack Dtion, TSK, the consequences would be unimaginable. This Hell Devil Emperor is really a tumor." Chun Xiang gritted his teeth and cursed. "Quickly go to the Divine Feather School and find Feng Yujia. See if you can find out the whereabouts of Xianxia and Ji Linger. Since the Super Holy School controls the Super Old Sacred City, it will definitely be difficult for the two of them to hide here," Long Shui said. Chun Xiang immediately headed to Divine Feather School, and the one who received him was the elder from back then. After recognizing him, he anxiously brought him to Feng Yujia. Feng Yujia, who had always been in seclusion, was now in charge of the entire Divine Feather School. It was because the entire Absolute Monarch Sanctuary was not at peace right now. As a leader and a pill saint, Feng Yujia's strength was not to be underestimated. At the moment, he did not have any conflicts of interest with the Super Holy School, so the Super Holy School dared to make a move on the Divine Feather School. Feng Yujia was just like before, wearing simple clothes. Although her appearance was average, the way she moved her hands was extremely charming. When she saw Chun Xiang coming over, she chuckled and said, "You're back so soon." After saying that, Feng Yujia's smile suddenly disappeared. He frowned at Chun Xiang, with a look of shock on his face, because Chun Xiang's strength was extremely shocking to her. Back then when Chun Xiang left, he was only at Immortal Becoming Realm, but now, she was unable to see through him. "Where's Sister Meiyao and Elder Sister Yu? Chun Xiang did not bother with her and quickly replied, "I want to meet them." Feng Yujia said, "They just ate the saint revitalizing pellet that I refined, and they will take some time to refine. You won't be able to see them now." Chun Xiang nodded his head. This could be understood, and he asked again, "Now that Super Old Sacred City is in control, Super Holy School has been chasing after two women." Feng Yujia seemed to have already guessed that Chun Xiang would ask about this. She took out a jade box and said, "This is what they left for you." Chun Xiang immediately received the jade box and opened it to look. It was a map, and when he opened it, he was completely confused by what he saw, because he did not know anything about this sacred domain. "Where are they?" Chun Xiang passed the map to Feng Yujia and said, "I'm not familiar with this place. Seems like they are far away from the Super Old Sacred City. This is an area that is not yet controlled by the Super Holy School. It's called the Holy Beast Mountain Range. There are also many strong humans, and a few of them are strong beast kings. The Super Holy School do not dare to go there recklessly. The map should indicate that they are inside their cave." Feng Yujia said, "There is the transmission array here. We can teleport there directly. If you go to that place, you should keep a low profile." "Aunt Feng, when will Sister Meiyao and Elder Sister Yu wake up?" Chun Xiang asked. "If my two daughters can recover, then their strength will definitely rise greatly. I need to guide them from the side, so I can't be sure when they can finish it. It should be within 10 years. The Aunt Feng said. Within 10 years, Chun Xiang could understand. After all, those were injuries that had been left behind for many years, and they had been treated while raising one's strength. However, he still felt that it was too long. "Aunt Feng, do you know about the matters concerning Hell Devil Emperor? Do you think that there is a connection between Super Holy School and Hell Devil Emperor?" This was what Long Shui told Chun Xiang to ask. "You also know about the matters with the Hell Devil Emperor." Honestly speaking, the Hell Devil Emperor also came to find me and offered very generous conditions for me to become his subordinate. However, I rejected. Feng Yujia let out a long sigh. "Even though my Divine Feather School is fine up till now, I feel that she will not let me off. In that case, other than the Super Holy School, there are also many other powerhouses that have been bribed by the Hell Devil Emperor." Chun Xiang frowned. "That's right, because the Hell Devil Emperor's conditions are very generous. First, if one's soul is not destroyed, one will never die. Then he will provide some precious holy level medicinal herbs, and then some saint weapons. You have to know, the saint weapons in hell are very powerful. They were all made by a large number of artifact forgers controlled by the Hell Devil Emperor. Feng Yujie said, "Who knows? Maybe he can even bring out some divine weapons." Chun Xiang said, "A few days ago, a few of the heavenly regions attacked Ditian, but they did not succeed in the end because Ditian's current strength is not weak either. If they were to fight, the heavenly regions would not benefit much." Feng Yujie sighed. "I also heard that Ditian had such a great power right after he was reborn. If we give Ditian a little more time, the sky region would definitely not dare to challenge him. The current Ditian was able to give birth to a Holy Spirit aura. He was even stronger than the Ditian from back then. Aunt Feng, if Hell Devil Emperor wants to make a move on you, then move Divine Feather School to Ditian." Chun Xiang said, "If we stay there, we can resist the power of the Hell Devil Emperor together. I'll think about it. After all, that's Ditian. It's not easy to migrate from here as a whole." Feng Yujie suddenly laughed. "You aren't planning to rope me in, are you?" "Of course not. It's just cooperation." Chun Xiang laughed. "I'll go look for Xianxia and the others first. When I get back, I'll have to ask you about some things regarding refining pills." "Oh, your alchemy skills are so special. I can't guide you." Feng Yujie scoffed. "Don't tell me you want to challenge me again. Laugh at me after you defeat me?" Chun Xiang shook his head. "Yes, there is a method to refine high-level pellets, for example a high-level 8 or 9 pellet, or even a sacred pellet." Hearing Chun Xiang's words, Feng Yujie immediately understood that Chun Xiang did not come here just to see Su Meiyao and Bai Yuyu, but also to become a pill saint. She was not too surprised that Chun Xiang would be able to become a pill saint in such a short time. Chun Xiang came to the Holy Beast Mountain Range through the Divine Feather School's transmission array. The Divine Feather School had a very close business relationship with the Holy Beast Mountain Range, so there were a few transmission arrays that led to the Holy Beast Mountain Range. After arriving at the Sacred Beast Mountain Range, he released his divine soul to wander in the air and survey the terrain. After comparing Linger and Red Dawn's maps, he quickly found a gigantic mountain that was specially made for people. There were many big and small caves on top of the mountain. Chun Xiang followed the map and quickly found their cave. He knocked on the stone door of the cave, waiting for them to open. Not long after, the stone door slowly opened, revealing a beautiful lady. It was Linger. However, Chun Xiang had disguised herself previously, so she was extremely wary when she saw a stranger before her. "Little Ling-er, it's me." Chun Xiang anxiously transmitted to Linger. "It's not easy for you to open the door." Seeing that it was Chun Xiang, Linger hastily pulled him in and closed the door. "It's really you. How did you arrive so quickly?" Linger asked excitedly, jumping around while hugging Chun Xiang. Xianxia and Linger knew that Chun Xiang would definitely come, because they already knew what was happening within Ditian. They just did not expect that Chun Xiang would arrive so quickly. "Little Ling-er, what do you think of me?" Chun Xiang giggled as he reached out to scratch her beautiful nose, then looked at Xianxia and laughed helplessly. "I didn't expect it to change so suddenly. This place is the same as Ditian, and there's even a little connection between them. Because experts like Ten Heaven's Supreme Lord, Xianxia, Demon Emperor by Yahweh, and devil-suppressing Heavenly Venerable had appeared one after another, making it difficult for those sky region to launch a huge battle against Ditian. Therefore, at this time, the Hell Devil Emperor had found the Absolute Monarch Sanctuary. With the help of the Hell Devil Emperor, the Super Holy School dominated the entire sacred region and controlled the entire Heaven's Sacred District, causing Xianxia and Linger to have no choice but to leave this place that they thought to be very safe. Humans are better off if it's like that. Fortunately, the situation isn't too bad, and those fellows don't dare to come to the Saint Beast Mountain Range. These beasts actually have more backbone than humans, and were not bribed by the Hell Devil Emperor. Although she said it like that, she was still worried before. But now that Chun Xiang had arrived, she suddenly felt at ease. Linger laughed tenderly. "You grew up so fast. I thought that when we met again, you would need me to help you raise your strength. But it seems that you are even stronger than us now." Chun Xiang followed the two girls into the cave. The cave was simple and crude, but it was neat and tidy. The two girls were not dressed very well right now. When Xianxia was much weaker than Xianxia and Linger, the two girls had treated him very well and even made him eat tofu. But now that Xianxia was as strong as them, even stronger than them, they respected him even more because Xianxia was a very powerful alchemist before, and now that he was so strong, he would definitely become a pill sage in the future. To have a pill sage friend was something many people dreamed of. The two women poured tea for Xianxia and treated him extremely well. Xianxia, on the other hand, admired these two beauties with a smile on his face. Their clothes weren't very pretty, which allowed them to exude a kind of natural beauty. We don't want to stay here right now. Super Holy School and the rest have yet to enter the Sacred Beast Mountain range, but they just don't dare to come in for the time being. Their powers will grow very quickly, and with the help of the Hell Devil Emperor, they will quickly take over many large Saint Realm forces, dominating the entire Saint Realm before attacking Tion. Red Cloud said. Xianxia nodded, he thought so too. This was because the Super Holy School already had a huge power in the sacred region, but they did not have any plans to attack Tion. You guys also know about the Hell Devil Emperor? Xianxia asked. The Hell Devil Emperor came to find us and told us a bunch of nonsense, telling us to sacrifice ourselves and help that bastard leader of the Super Holy School become stronger. Of course we wouldn't listen to his nonsense, so he wanted to force it on us, but we are not pushovers, so we will work together to beat him away. Linger's face was filled with indignation. The Red Cloud said, Hell Devil Emperor's Hell Devil Envoy is really strong, and they also have a very mysterious ability of perception, able to sense the location of a lot of strong warriors. I heard that a lot of strong warriors have been found by the Hell Devil Envoy, and many of them couldn't resist the rich conditions offered by the Hell Devil Emperor, so they joined the Super Holy School. Xianxia, can you bring us to Tion? Right now, we don't have any great powers to rely on, although our strength is not bad. Against such a huge being like the Super Holy School, we are just small fries. We want to be together with you. Linger shook Xianxia's arm, pouted her mouth, and spoke softly. Her cute appearance made Xianxia feel his bones go soft. All right, you're an old granny who has lived for 10,000 years. Don't act like a spoiled child. It's really hard for people to take it. Xianxia laughed. The fact that Xianxia agreed made Xianxia and Linger extremely happy. Seeing the happy smiles on the two girls' faces, Xianxia said, I can bring you guys to Tion, but there are two things I need to clarify first. Firstly, you cannot follow me, but I will arrange for you two to join a force. Secondly, my goal here is to become a pill saint. Before that, I need to find some high-level alchemists to practice and level up. They knew that Xianxia would become a pill saint sooner or later, but it was simply too fast now. The legendary pill saint, wasn't he an old demon who had lived for tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of years? But after they thought about it more carefully, they felt that it was a very normal thing to do with Xianxia. Ladies, you two might be able to witness the birth of a pill saint, Xianxia said with a confident smile on his face. No, it should be you guys assisting a future pill saint. Red Cloud gently smiled. Just tell us what you want us to do. Linger's expression was solemn, and said, even if you don't want to die, we will definitely do our best to help you. Little Spirit is really loyal. Xianxia laughed openly. I can't bear to have beauties like you die for me. I'm not that kind of person either. The things you guys need to do is very simple, just like before. Do you guys still have the Holy Stone? Xianxia asked. He still had 10 million kilograms of Holy Stone here, and he had given some small knives to bring back to the Dragon Subduing School before. He had also given some to Xianxia and the others. Not much. Xianxia felt a little awkward, because Xianxia had left them a lot of things back then. It's fine, I still have 10 million caddies. How about this, you guys go buy some commonly used Tier 6 Immortal pills and come back. This 10 million caddies of Holy Stone should be enough, right? Xianxia took out a storage bag. Linger frowned. About that, they can only buy one, and it's not a very good one at that. Super Holy School is controlling the market for high-grade pills. The price has increased by several times. They want to force some experts who are in urgent need of high-grade pills to join Super Holy School. Seeing how powerful the Super Holy School was, Xianxia suddenly had a burst of motivation. He wished that he could take a walk around the Super Holy School to see what they were capable of with the help of the Hell Devil Emperor. The corner of his mouth curled up in a cold smile. Super Holy School. It's best if we can take care of them in this sacred domain. Otherwise, they might go and harm Dtion in the future. Then these 10 million caddies of holy stone are enough to buy a batch of Tier 6 immortal pills. Super Holy School has already done me a huge favor. Haha. Xianxia suddenly laughed out loud, causing Red Cloud and Ji Linger to be confused. But they were already used to it, because what Xianxia did was out of their expectations.